Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Peace be upon you all. We are approaching another month of Ramadan and we're all getting ready. I'm getting ready by reducing my coffee intake. I don't want those headaches when you're on the fasting mornings. But I wanted to talk about something really central to fasting and Ramadan, and that is gratitude, or Shukr in Arabic. In fact, at the start of 2023, I decided to make this year a year of gratitude. Gratitude is a very important part of Islamic teachings. Every day, it's part of everyday Muslim conduct and a desired state of a believer. So it has to be part of a character building for Muslims in everyday life. I realized this part of me needed more emphasis in my personal and spiritual life. I needed to bring gratitude more. I thought that I wasn't being entering into that state as often or as deliberately as enough that I should be doing. It is also my observation that Muslims in general can do a lot to improve in this respect. Don't get me wrong, Muslims are grateful people, but more often than not, being thankful is reduced to saying Alhamdulillah after we eat, or just habitually thanking people as common courtesy. The kind of gratitude I'm really talking about is the intentional gratitude. Having the awareness of things, events, and people around us. The things that we can really be grateful about in everyday life. And more importantly, to enter in a state of gratitude at will and make it part of our character and identity as Muslims. I thought I could achieve this goal if I identified every day at least three things, not many, that I can be really grateful about. And I started practicing this for the last 3 months, actually, and it has been transformational. I extremely benefited from this. I will explain how to do this and its benefits towards the end. But let me first explain why gratitude, or shukr, has such a central place in Islam. Since we are close to Ramadan, how fasting is especially linked to gratitude. I will then come back to how you can practice daily intentional gratitude that I've been talking about. The key related verse in the Quran is chapter 4, verse 147. And it goes like this. مَا يَفْعَلُ اللَّهُ بِعَذَابِكُمْ إن شكرتم وآمنتم وكان الله شاكرا عليما. Like, why should Allah punish you if you're grateful and faithful? Allah is ever thankful and all-knowing. This verse puts faith and gratitude, or shukr, as two most important things that Allah expects from human beings. It is therefore, central to the purpose of creation in Islam. We know, all Muslims just about know that worship is one of the primary purposes of creation in Islam. And you can see the verse 51, 56, more on that. So gratitude is actually a form of worship. Perhaps we could even say the heart of worship in Islam. Just think about it for a minute. The universe is 13.8 billion years old. So this vast, majestic universe is created to produce life in that time frame. The finest product of universe and life is the human life. And the most valuable result of human life is belief and worship. The best form of worship, I would say, is gratitude, because gratitude sits at the center of creation and our daily living. Or I would say this is because the main trigger of life is to roam around the earth to earn one's sustenance, to make a living. We as humans foremost engage with the world through making a living. We get up in the morning, we go to work, we make money so that we can survive. So basically, our Creator has made the earth as a great table of blessings for us to benefit from. But this benefit requires us to work and earn that sustenance, and through that sustenance, naturally Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala expects humans to be grateful and show gratitude. So the best form of gratitude is three things, a combination of three things. One, to know that all sustenance comes directly from Allah. Two, to acknowledge the value of those sustenance. And three, to feel our need and dependence on that sustenance. So only fasting, in my view, achieves all these three forms of true thanksgiving or gratitude. A fasting person feels the value and their need for basic survival when they experience the extended periods of hunger and thirst. And since a believer stops eating and drinking and fasts for the sake of Allah, they acknowledge that that sustenance that they need to survive comes directly from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So one of the primary purposes of fasting in Ramadan is to make us feel grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Of course, gratitude or being in a state of gratitude is not and should not be limited to food only, should not be limited to sustenance. And this is where my recommendation of looking for three specific things each day to be grateful about come in, as a practical way of building shukr as part of who we are as Muslims. And I do this in three steps. Please listen carefully. This could be a very important thing in your life, a transformation on how you see yourself and what happens in your life every day. So I do three things. First, I think about my day usually at lunchtime or in the evening to identify things that I can be grateful about, things, events, or people, or what happened. Second, if there are more than three things, and sometimes there are, I would deliberately choose only three to focus on. And I have to admit, some days it is hard to find three. But with some thought and recollection of what happened that day, I always end up finding at least three things to be grateful about. And third, and this is a crucial step, I reflect why I am grateful for each of those things. As I reflect, I'm looking for a feeling of gratitude to naturally emerge in my heart. That's what I'm looking for. If thinking about that thing, events, people, produces naturally in my heart a feeling of gratitude, I found it. And I lock that in. That is one of the things that I'm looking for that day. Things we are grateful about does not have to be big things or the same things every day, day in, day out. The key is to look for things that we can truly feel grateful about. They must naturally generate that feeling of gratitude in your heart. It could be a chance encounter of a beautiful sunset and being alive. It could be noticing your child learn something new, or waking up with a clear head, well rested, someone you love smiling at you, or landing a business deal, a friend offering to share their lunch or to buy you coffee. So anything you feel as a gift and a blessing in your life counts. One day, I was simply grateful to have enough cash in my bank account to pay my car registration. And it felt great because I know that there are many people out there who may not be in that position. Now, let me share with you some of my insights and conclusions, after practicing this way of gratitude for the last 3 months. Maybe I might develop more, but these are, for now, some of really important insights that I came to. 1, every day becomes memorable and special. When you think about your day, you process what is in your memory. Short-term memory becomes long-term one when you're more conscious about those memories. So you create more and better memories every day. So your life gains more value as a result. 2, when you look for specific things to be grateful about, you start noticing things that usually go unnoticed. So without gratitude, our lives can become monotonous and appear mediocre, but in reality, we all receive unique gifts and blessings. You just have to notice them more often. And this way of looking at for 3 things every day achieves that. And 3, gratitude or shukr generates a constant positive feeling that we may sometimes call happiness. But it is more than happiness. It's a positive state where you feel satisfied about your life in spite of everything else that may be going on. And none of us have a perfect lives. So feeling positive and satisfied is very important for you, for your well-being. And this is why I call it being in a state of gratitude, because when you do this every day, you're entering into that state of gratitude at will. Every day it becomes a attitude, it becomes a habit, and you then you're in a constant state of gratitude. I cannot tell you how great this feels once you get a hang of it. And once you're in a state of gratitude, seeing that as a blessing in itself and linking that to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comes naturally. So when you form this link between what you're grateful about and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in your mind and in your heart expands and it's filled with divine light, and you feel spiritually grown, spiritually alive, and closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ultimately this is the goal of worship, and gratitude achieves just that. And 5, gratitude can transform negative feelings and sadness that you might feel for things that happen in your life. Inevitably, negative things and bad things also happen. They have an impact on how you feel. Identifying things to be grateful about, even on those days, amazingly, can turn your feelings or negative feelings to one of positivity. At the very least, you don't let those negative things and people bring you down. It's very important. And number 6, I just found through experience that you can't turn negative and bad things by focusing on positive aspect of those and feel grateful about those. I tried, it doesn't work. The negative feelings does not completely disappear, and I find that I cannot be truly grateful about something that upsets me or makes me feel bad. Those things require patience. It's a different thing. So the best thing we can do is to learn from those and kind of move on. And instead, what we can do and what we need to do is find other things that we can be thankful about in that day. And as soon as you do that, your mind and attention goes to those positive things. And that works and it can quickly turn your feelings around. To sum up, I really urge you to practice gratitude, shukr, in your daily life and make it an inseparable part of your character. Take the verse, chapter 4, 147, as a guide in your spiritual life. If you practice nothing in Islam except this verse, in my view, it would really lead you to Allah and it would really benefit you in your life. May this Ramadan bring you happiness and grow your spiritual world and make you a better person and better Muslim. Assalamu alaikum.